Resources and development. In this chapter, we will learn about classification of resources, development of resources, and land resources. Resources. Resource refers to all the materials available in our environment, which help us to satisfy our needs and wants. A resource is a physical material that humans need and value, such as land, air, and water. Everything available in our environment can be used to satisfy our needs provided it is technologically accessible, economically feasible, and culturally acceptable, can be termed as a resource. Classification of resources. These resources can be classified in the following ways. Number 1. On the basis of origin, biotic, and abiotic. Number 2. On the basis of exhaustibility, renewable, and non-renewable. Number 3. On the basis of ownership, individual, community, national, and international. Number 4. On the basis of the status of development, potential developed stock, and reserves. On the basis of origin, biotic resources. Resources that are obtained from the biosphere and have life are known as biotic resources, such as human beings, flora, and fauna. Abiotic resources. All those things are composed of non-living things are called abiotic resources. For example, rocks and metals. On the basis of exhaustibility. Renewable resources. The resources which can be renewed or reproduced by physical, chemical, or mechanical processes are known as renewable resources. For example, solar and wind. Non-renewable resources. These resources take millions of years in their formation. Some of the resources like metals are recyclable, and some like fossil fuels cannot be recycled and get exhausted with their use. On the basis of ownership, individual resources. The resources owned privately by individuals are called individual resources. For example, plots, houses, etc., owned by a person. Community ownership resources. The resources are accessible to all the members of the community. For example, public parks, picnic spots, owned by a community. National resources. The resources which come under the nation are known as national resources. Technically, all the resources belong to the nation. International resources. The resources lying beyond 200 kilometers of an exclusive economic zone in the ocean are called international resources. No one can use these resources without the permission of international institutions. On the basis of the status of development. Potential resources. Resources found in a region, but not in use, like solar energy in Rajasthan, wind in Gujarat. Developed resources. Resources that are surveyed, and their quantity and quality have been determined for utilization. Stock. Resources are available, but do not have the appropriate technology to access. Like lack of technical knowledge on how to use hydrogen and oxygen as the source of energy. Reserve. A subset of stock. The technology required to utilize these resources is available, but their utilization has not begun yet. Can be used for future needs, like water in the dams. Forest resources. Development of resources. Resources are vital for survival and maintaining the quality of life. It was believed that resources are free gifts of nature, so human beings used them indiscriminately. And this has led to the following major problems. Depletion of resources for satisfying the greed of a few individuals. Accumulation of resources in a few hands, which divided the society into two segments, rich and poor. It has led to global ecological crises, such as global warming, ozone layer depletion, environmental pollution, and land degradation. Resource planning. Resource planning refers to the strategy for planned and judicious utilization of resources. It is important for the very existence of all living beings. The first stage includes surveying, mapping, and measurement of characteristics and properties of resources, evolving a planning structure endowed with appropriate technology, skill, and institutional setup for implementing resource development plans. The third stage is matching resource development plans. The ability to forecast requirements and develop a strategy to plan, allocate, and utilize the resources and their competencies effectively is termed resource planning. India has made concerted efforts towards achieving the goal of resource planning right from the first 5-year plan launched after independence. Land resources. Resources that are available on land are called resources. Land resources are important because humans not only live but also perform all economic activities. Distribution of land in India: 43% plain area for agriculture and industrial use, 30% mountain area for tourism and ecology, 27% plateau region, which is rich in minerals and fossil fuels. Land use pattern in India. The use of land is determined. Physical factors, such as topography, climate, soil types, human factors, such as population density, technological capability and culture, and traditions, etc. The total geographical area of India is 3.28 million square kilometers. Land use data, however, is available only for 93% of the total area, because the land use reporting for most of the northeast states, except Assam, has not been done fully. Wasteland. Wasteland is the land that has not been used for agriculture purposes due to reasons like the land has been barren due to the use of fertilizer. Wasteland is the uses, which include rocky, arid, and desert areas, roads, railways, industry, etc. Continuous use of land over a long period of time, without taking appropriate measures to conserve and manage it, has resulted in land degradation. Land degradation and conservation measures. Human activities, such as deforestation, overgrazing, mining, and quarrying contributed to land degradation. Measures to control land degradation. Stabilization of sand dunes by growing thorny bushes. Afforestation. Planting of shelter belts of plants. Control on overgrazing. Stabilization of sand dunes by growing thorny bushes. Proper management of wastelands. Control of mining activities. Soil as a resource. Soil is essential to the use of natural resources. It is small plant growth. And it also helps in various types of living organisms on the earth. Soil is the most important renewable resource, as it supports plant growth and the survival of living organisms. Classification of soil on the basis of the factors responsible for soil formation: color, thickness, texture, age, chemical, and physical properties. The soils of India can be classified into different types. Alluvial soils expanded almost 45% of the total area of India. These soils contain an adequate proportion of potash, phosphoric acid, and lime. These have been deposited by three important Himalayan river systems: the Indus, the Ganga, and the Brahmaputra. According to the age of divided into Khadar and Bangar, consist various amount of sand, silt, and clay, ideal for the growth of sugarcane, paddy, wheat and cereal, and pulse crops. Black soil. This soil is black in color, and is also known as Regur soil. Climatic conditions along with the parent rock material are important factors for the formation of black soil. This type of soil is typical of the Deccan Trap region, spread over the northwest Deccan Plateau, and is made up of lava flows. The soil covers the plateaus of Maharashtra, Saurashtra, Malwa, Madhya Pradesh, and Chhattisgarh, and extends in the southeast direction along the Godavari and the Krishna valleys. The black soil is made up of extremely fine clayey material, and is well known for its capacity to hold moisture. Black soil is nutrients rich, and contains calcium carbonate, magnesium, potash, and lime. The soil is sticky when wet, and difficult to work on, unless tilled immediately after the first shower, or during the pre-monsoon period. Red and yellow soil. found in the areas of low rainfall in the eastern and southern parts of the Deccan Plateau. Also found in parts Orissa, Chhattisgarh, southern parts of the Middle Ganga Plain, and along the Piedmont zone of the Western Ghats. Develop a reddish color due to the diffusion of iron in crystalline and metamorphic rocks. Laterite soils develops in areas with high temperatures and heavy rainfall, found in Karnataka, Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Madhya Pradesh, and the hilly areas of Orissa and Assam. Suitable for cultivation, with adequate doses of manures and fertilizer. Low humus content, because decomposes, like bacteria, get destroyed due to high temperature. Arid soils range from red to brown in color, sandy in texture, and saline in nature, due to dry climate, high temperature. Evaporation is faster, lacks humus and moisture, can be made fertile and cultivable after a proper irrigation system. Forest soils, found in the hilly and mountainous area, where sufficient rain forests are available. Feature differs based on location. Loamy and silty in valley sides, and coarse-grained in the upper slopes. Silt in the lower parts of the valleys, particularly on the river terraces, and alluvial fans are fertile. Different types of soils found in India. The map shows the different types of soils found in India. We can see in the map. The forest and mountain soil is found in northern part in India. The alluvial soil is found in the northern and eastern part. Red and yellow soil is found in the eastern, central and southern part. Black soil is found in the central part. Laterite soil is found in some eastern and western part. And the arid soil is found in the northwestern part in India. Soil erosion and soil conservation. The displacement and washing down of the top layer of soil are called soil erosion. The denudation of the soil cover and subsequent washing down is described as soil erosion. The running water cuts through the clay soil and makes deep channels as gullies. Planting lines of trees to create shelter helps in the stabilization of sand dunes and in stabilizing the desert in western India. Rows of such trees are called shelter belts. The Chambli Basin, such lands are ravines. The wind blows loose soil off flat or sloping land, known as wind erosion. These are the things related to resources and development.